Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Cupid. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to go ahead and get into a general reading. This one I really want to focus on what do you need to know right now? What do you need to know right now? Before we get into the reading, I do want to say that the reason why I'm not on camera is because I am sick. I thankfully am feeling a lot better, but I just wanted to be safe and also stay off camera just because I'm not looking quite 100%. But I am feeling a lot better. My breathing's better, so I might talk a little bit faster. But I just want to put that out there. I also want to just remind you guys that I am open for private readings. All information for that is in the link in the description box, along with the link to my website. In case you're interested in seeing what kind of art I do, I also do commissions, and I also can do illustrations, etc. for various things, book covers, etc., right? This is not the plug for my art necessarily, but I'm rambling, so yeah, if you're interested in that, link in the description box. Anything else before we get started? I don't think so. So we're going to start the reading by getting a message from the message jar. If you've watched any of my past few readings, you know that this is a jar that I created one Christmas as just like a party favor. I put messages in the jar and just allowed people at the Christmas party to get a message. It was really fun, and it's something that I just kept doing. I've even had this jar on my desk at work, and some of my coworkers, if they needed a message, if they just needed anything, they would come in and just take a message, and it always seemed like it resonated or it really helped them. So I'm implementing it on my channel. Enough rambling. I don't even know why I'm rambling so much today. Anywho, we want to know what the collective needs to know. What does the collective need to know right now, Spirit? Please give us one message for the collective. What does the collective need to know? All right, we have a message. What does the collective need to know? Ooh, just do it. I like that. I was like, this is a small message. Your message is just do it. So you know the drill. I'm going to pull some tarot to just take us deeper into the message to clarify. So I will catch you guys on the other side. All right. Baddies. I don't know why, like, I was just watching some clips from Bad Girls Club and also the Baddies, you know, north, south, east, and west, just to make some comparisons. So that's why I called you guys baddies. I think that's cute. Here, I heard a few things for you guys. I heard feeling out of place. I heard timing, and I heard, there was one more thing I heard. Oh, but let's just focus on those things, okay? Oh, hesitation. I heard hesitation. So first thing I want to focus on, high key, are the cards at the bottom of the decks, because this is where I feel like the overall theme is being laid out, right? We have the Hangman, and we have the Knight of Swords. In terms of your tarot, right? There is a energy here of you being told to stop waiting, right? There's something that you're waiting to do. You're either waiting You're definitely waiting for the right time, because it's almost like with this hangman here, right? We're talking about perspective. You are waiting for something to appear a certain way in order for you to determine that it's the right time, right? You're waiting for something to seem like it's ready. But I feel like you're being told that the person what has to be ready is you, not anything else around you. Okay? With the Knight of Swords, it's almost like a catch it while you can kind of energy under here, where it's like these opportunities or these moments, they come and go so quickly. It's not like there's ever going to be one right time. There are always many right times, but it's almost like catching the train when it arrives, right? Like if you've ever taken public transportation, it's like when you get to the train station and it's that day where it's all green, right? You come down the steps and the doors are open. The train is there when you've arrived. But then there's also times when you get to the station, but the platform, there's no train anywhere, and you just have people waiting. And so it's kind of like that. Like there are always trains coming. So you just kind of have to be in that mindset of, I'm ready to catch a train. All right. Also, we have wilderness at the bottom of this oracle deck. And I felt like this is you kind of feeling out of place. It's almost like you're perceiving yourself as you aren't ready, right? For some reason. Maybe you feel like you don't fit a certain mold, or you feel like you don't fit a certain image, or you're lacking skills, or in some ways you just feel like you don't fit into, you don't yet fit into the image that you have of what makes the situation ready, right? It's hard to explain. It's like if it's like you're not ready yet, or you feel like it's not the right time yet because you have some type of imposter syndrome, right? Where you feel like you are not yet on the level that you need to be, or you're not yet in the position you need to be in order to fully begin this pursuit. But we also have checkmate here. So to me, this is about making moves, making the right moves, and being strategic. Okay? This is important, right? You're going to have to be strategic here. You cannot rely so much on how you look or how you seem. You're going to have to rely on how you move. I hope that isn't vague. To me, that makes a lot of sense, right? For example, you might not necessarily think you're, the baddest bitch in the room, right? Have you ever been like, or seen like model auditions or anything like that, where you might feel like, oh, because I don't look this way, I might not get the job. But it might be something about you that's specific to you, that if you strategically play into it, it can elevate you above someone or something that has just the generic image of beauty or success, right? You know what I'm saying? You don't have to fit into a certain type of conventional idea in order to be picked or chosen or hired or to become successful, right? Sometimes you can just rely on who you naturally are. But but if you play into that in the right way, if you elevate certain aspects of who you are individually, strategically, those things can elevate you more than waiting to be conventional. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into the cards here. We have this Knight of Pentacles, and we also have a Seven of Cups. So here I'm getting like even more hesitation. It's almost like you're not sure of where to invest your time. You're not sure of which opportunities or which interests or which avenues should receive more of your investment, okay? We also have Ace of Swords and the Fool. I'm getting here that this might have something to do with speaking or writing, but overall there's something here that you are waiting to communicate is what I'm getting with the Ace of Swords, right? There's some type of communication that you want to give. But you're not sure of the time is what's really obvious here. You're not sure of when to do this. It's almost like you're measuring outcomes with the Seven of Cups, right? You're measuring the outcomes based on timing, right? Like if I do this right now, this might happen. Or if I wait next week, then this will happen. Or maybe you're like becoming anxious, like I need to do this now, or these things won't happen, right? It's like you're measuring outcomes instead of just, I don't know, I feel like you need to act in faith with the Fool here, all right? It's like whatever it is that you need to say or whatever it is you need to do or communicate, you need to move forward believing in yourself and believing in the timing. You know, the Fool, he's naive in the sense that he's not aware of this drop and he doesn't know where this drop is going to lead him. He doesn't know what the journey looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like he can't perceive the next steps. And so I feel like you're being asked to be like comfortable not knowing the next steps, right? Because that's what this is here. It's like you're trying to measure the next steps. You're trying to measure the outcomes but it's like you're not putting much into motion. Get what I'm saying? So whatever outcomes you're measuring, none of them are going to come to fruition truly because you're not making the move to activate the next step. Okay? The Knight of Pentacles is also making me think of somebody who is also getting started. Like maybe you feel like a rookie, maybe you feel completely inexperienced, or you're still learning. I also, Knight of Pentacles make me think of like development. And so maybe you have something currently in development that's in the works. I really apologize. My dog is making noises. But yeah, with this Knight of Pentacles, it's kind of like I feel like you have something in the works, something that you're brewing, developing in the background, and you're like holding on to it, waiting for the right time to release it, right? Or put it out there, okay? But like I said, your message is just do it. Like, so all of this trying to determine the outcomes, all that's doing is wasting time for you, right? It's just wasting time. Now, I want to move on to this card here, the Time card. This image you probably can't see too well, but we have a boat here it's an old boat. It's like it's been left on the beach and it's been filled with foliage, right? Like this girl, she's walking up on this old rowboat that has now been overtaken with foliage from time, right? It's been sitting here over time. But what this card is representing is how things change over time, and how the uses or the value of those things change over time. And although at one point this rowboat, at one point it was able to be placed on the water and used as a boat, but now it's being used for something else, right? It's used now to house the foliage, but it's also something now that she can walk up upon and find use for herself, right? For whatever reason, right? It's almost like rediscovering something from the past and repurposing it, right? It's, in a lot of ways, it makes me think of how sometimes our creations have unexpected outcomes, right? Have unexpected uses found for them, right? For example, on YouTube, right? Like if you make YouTube content, you might make content for one specific purpose, but over time your channel develops in a way that you didn't expect, and you gain audiences that you didn't anticipate, right? Audiences who come to your work and they find uses for your content in ways that you didn't anticipate. You know what I'm saying? Or it becomes useful to them in ways that you didn't understand. I know some YouTubers who've talked about how people have said that they saved their life just being able to watch something that resonated with them or entertained them or made them laugh or smile or whatever. it had an effect on someone else that the artist or the author or the content creator did not necessarily anticipate. And so that's kind of here. It's like kind of trusting the timing. Trust that at the time you are discovered, you know, there will be positive outcomes for that. Like just trusting the discovery process, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like you can put out a video and maybe that first week you only get 100 views. You know what I mean? Nothing comes from it. But maybe in a year, that one video pops off. And now you're getting all these views from it because now it has taken on a meaning that you really didn't anticipate for other people. Or the timing, it was there at the right time, right? And that's what this is about. It's like put it out there so that at the right time it can be available. Okay? If there's nothing out there, then when the time comes, it's going to pass. If you're not already on that platform, when the train gets there, you might miss that train. And so, this reminds me of a time I was speaking to somebody and they just didn't feel like they were very successful. And, you know, and I had to tell them, I was like, and so they didn't feel like they were very successful and they were like comparing themselves to me. Mind you, I don't say I don't think I'm successful, but it's like, you know, I'm doing stuff, I'm putting stuff out there. So if somebody's doing less than that, they might feel some type of way. And I had to let them know, like, all of it's a waiting game, right? Every piece of art I create, every video I make, every statement I give, every message, there's never a guarantee that I'm going to get a sale or get a view right away. But at the same time, I have to be consistent in putting it out there because that's called planting the seed. If I don't plant a seed, I'll never see any type of growth, even tiny growth. I can't expect any growth if there is no seed planted. If I want to be seen or if I want my art to be liked or if I want anything, that means I have to put it out there. I can't wait to plant my seed for the right time because the seed already has to be there. You get what I'm saying? And so that's kind of what this is. It's like you need to plant your seed. Go ahead and just put that seed in the ground, right? This little coin. Just plant it and see. And that way you're allowing it to have that time to, I don't know. I don't want to say, it's like, what is it called? The gestation period, right? It's like you need to put it in the ground so it actually has time to anchor itself and fertilize, well, not fertilize, but ferment, right? You need to let it ferment so that when it's time for it to be discovered, that potency and that consistency has strengthened it, right? If it's creating a channel, go ahead and create that channel. Just create the channel, put some videos. That way, when you get a viewer and they're interested, they can click on your name and go see what other videos you posted, right? But if you never post anything, that just can't happen, okay? Then over here we have book. We have moved on. We have it's your show and don't look back. So first of all, with book, to me, this is like you need to schedule it. This could also be about a literal book. Maybe you're writing something, right? Or you're speaking something. But book, to me, is in alignment with release. When I heard release, right? You need to go ahead and it's like you need to claim your spot, right? You need to book your spot. You need to schedule that appointment. You need to go ahead and put a deadline on it so you know when it's ready. Go ahead and put it on the book is what I'm hearing, right? Then we have moved on. To me, this is a warning. This is like if you don't think time will move on without you, right? Like the opportunity is going to pass. And I feel like this is also a message about the nature of things. Things change over time and opportunities recycle. They pass by and they come back again different. So every time a train door opens, it's not going to be the exact train from the last round. It's not going to be the exact same destination. It's not going to be the exact same audience. However, you can benefit from any of those doors. So that's where it's like the perspective, right? Maybe you're waiting for the right door, the right train, the right audience, the right stage. But really, you need to allow your creations to resonate with an audience organically, right? Allow your audience to come to you. Be authentic and just do what you do. And those that resonate with it in whatever way they do, they're going to attract themselves to you. It's kind of like you can't control how you're perceived, and you can't always control how you affect others. You know what I'm saying? So you may want this ideal audience, or you may want to have this ideal effect, but really you have to just trust the process of discovering what your art can really do for others. Yeah, like you have to think of your creations as like creating a baby, right? Having a child. You may raise that child up the best you can, but at the end of the day, you have to allow that child to show you who they will become and what effect they'll have on the world, right? It's really only your job to prepare the art and release it, because this is also a discovery moment for you. You're not meant to control that flow of energy and that flow of communication. You're not meant to control how it resonates. You're really only meant to be your authentic self here with this wildness, right? It's not your job to fit in with a specific idea. It's only your job to intuitively follow your heart in this process and put your efforts into what you're trying to create and release it so that it's ready at the time it is meant to be discovered, or at least it needs to be there, right? If that boat was not there, it could not be walked up upon, even though over time it evolved into something that was different than its original intended purpose. It still has its own beauty and aesthetic and usefulness at the time that it's discovered by an audience. You get what I'm saying? Right. It's your show here, right? So this card to me is really speaking on your control and how at the end of the day, there's no one else is going to let you know when it's the right time for your shit to pop, right? No one is going to come along and direct you in your personal pursuits, right? It really has to be you owning this process, this entire process. And I also think like it goes back to that authenticness, right? You're not here to fit into a certain mold or a certain image, right? It really is making me think about trusting your own brand. You know what I'm saying? Trusting that your brand is going to attract the people it's supposed to attract, right? Just being authentic. It's not somebody else's show, right? We all have content that is inspirational to us, or things that we've seen as children or as we grew up that got us to the place we are now, where we're, creating the things that we're creating. But at the same time, you're not trying to be Mozart. You're not trying to be Beyonce. You're not trying to be the people who inspired you. You're here to be yourself. And you have to think that you were inspired by them because they were themselves. You get what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like trusting that just like them being themselves got them to the level of success or recognition, or even just whatever it was that they gained, it was them being their authentic self that got them there. And that's truly why you're inspired by them. So it's almost like you need to be like that yourself, trusting your own unique vision, right? Lady Gaga, she didn't get to where she was because she was always trying to follow behind somebody else's vision or follow somebody else's idea of what a pop star was, or what success was, or what does it mean to be talented. She redefined that on her own, and she redefined it based on who she was. She redefined it so that she can fit into her own mold instead of trying to reshape herself to fit into a different mold, right? She paved her own avenue and her audience came to her. People who genuinely, like Lady Gaga is one of those artists where the people who like her genuinely like her art. They genuinely fuck with her shit, right? And it's for no other reason than her art has its own organic creativity that resonates with them. It's not a carbon copy. It's not manufactured bullshit. It's real. And so it may have a slow ascent, but once that audience is there, they really mess with it. You know what I mean? And then last here we have Don't Look Back. So this lets me know that the reason you are so hesitant is because you're focused on some past disappointments, or you're focused on the people behind you, right? Or the eyes behind you, right? That's what it's kind of like. Yeah, it's like you're trying to do the work, but you're focused on the things that you're really not supposed to be focused on. The things that are, maybe it's the murmuring, the whispers, maybe it's the likes, maybe it's the views, maybe it's just distractions. It's like, just focus on creating, focus on putting it out there, and don't look at nothing else. Don't think about the time you didn't get any views. Don't think about the time nobody liked your picture. Don't think about the time that person said you're not going to make it. Don't think about this person did this that fast. Why am I taking so long? Like, don't focus on anything that is not on your work bench. You know what I'm saying? Or your work desk. The work is what you need to be looking at. That's what you need to be putting all your efforts into. Not responding to Twitters, or I'm old, y'all, but not responding to tweets, not responding to Instagram comments, not trying to defend yourself, right? Don't look back. You have nothing to prove, is what it's really telling me. Don't try and prove anything. Just do what you need to do, okay? Because everything behind you is a distraction, right? Everything that is not on the table for you to complete and release is a distraction, all right? My goodness. So, last thing before I close out this reading, I want to get into your last oracle card. This one is from the Kuan Yin Oracle. It's like a goddess, divine feminine oracle. And I like to keep it flipped over so that, one, we can see the pretty image. And then two, because the message is on the back. And I like them to be a surprise. So, this message, we have Princess of the Autumn Harvest. Princess of the Autumn Harvest, bring gifts of bounty and blessings for efforts and actions of the past. It is a time when the fruit of your labors is ripe for the picking. A beautiful blessing is on its way to you now. With gratitude in your heart, you will recognize the blessing when it comes to you, and it will serve you perfectly. Be open to receive, knowing it was justly deserved. So, like I said, this is about your efforts and actions of the past, right? This is about your efforts and actions. Remember, you need to just do it. You need to just plant the seed. You can't harvest if you've never sowed. You know what I'm saying, right? You can't reap if you've never sowed. You know what I mean? It says it is a time. It is a time when your fruit of your labors is ripe for the picking, being ripe, right? So that's what we're talking about. Allowing your creations to ripen by putting them into play. Checkmate, right? You need to put your pieces into play so that they can ripen. Once they ripen, you can receive. But if they're never in play, they'll never ripen, and you will never reap the benefits, right? Princess of the harvest. She knows when she does receive, she knows that it's justly deserved. So that goes back to that faith. You have to have faith that your creations are going to develop as they should, right? And that sounds so vague, but it's like you can't control your children. You cannot force them to develop and succeed when you want them to, right? They're individuals. And that's the way with art. Your art is its own individual entity. It's only your job to prepare it and release it. And so that's overall the message here, collective. I feel like this is a message that definitely I needed to hear. This card came out for one of my groups in the last Pick a Card reading. So you can either go check out that reading if you felt like maybe you want to get some more details, or if you did watch that reading and this is resonating as well with that, you can let me know in the comments. But yeah, this is really just about you're hesitating for the right time because you want things to flow the way you want them to, but really you just need to do the work, release it, and just trust that you being yourself and trust that you doing your best will be enough to connect with the people that you want to connect with, okay? So anyway, if this resonated and you enjoyed the reading, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment. Once again, if you're interested in personal readings or any of my art or prints, you can check out the links in the description box. So without further ado, you guys have a great day. Thank you for watching. And if you'd like to see me again, make sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell. Bye.